Hello everyone, this is Dr. Anastasia Chopelas, the Scientific Healer, and this is another episode of Raise Your Frequency. And today we're going to be talking about emotional and mental health and why that's so important for your entire well-being. So please put your comments or say hello, whatever, when you're here, so I can know that you're listening and we're interacting. Put your questions in the chat box whenever you're ready. So there are two things about mental and emotional health. They're actually two separate things. So by mental health, I actually mean your brain health. And I meet too many people over the age of 50 who are suffering from some sort of mental deficiency in terms of their brain health. In other words, they're starting to notice that their memory is going, they have suffered some sort of traumatic brain injury, they've fallen down, hit their head somewhere, and I can feel that there's an empty space somewhere in the cranium somewhere. And these problems are also exacerbated by things like toxicity in the body. Your brain can't be healthy if it is marinating in this toxic soup. So by eating cleanly and drinking plenty of fresh water, or getting enough sleep and exercise. And one other thing that is affected, that your brain is affected by, is actually your muscle mass. Muscle mass is a really important indicator of the health of your brain. It's not brain or brawn, it's brain and brawn. You have to have both muscle health and brain health. They operate together. The thing about having a healthy brain is, if the brain isn't healthy, that is one of the things that causes the decline of the physical body. It's the brain seems to be the thing that operates all the parts in our body, whether it is your liver, whether it is your pancreas or your kidneys. In order for those to stay functioning, it's not just what's going on in those areas, it's also what's going on up here between the ears. And just so you know, that the entire endocrine system is run by a part of the limbic, or the primitive brain system, that's going on deep inside your brain. It's called the hypothalamus, and it controls the entire endocrine system. It decides whether you need more thyroid hormone, whether you need more insulin, whether you need more cortisol, because you're ready to go into some sort of fight or flight. So those parts of you need to be healthy. And one of the things that I do as a regular course when anybody enters into either a group or an individual healing program is that I do a full brain healing. And you might be wondering what you need to ask yourself when you've got issues in these areas. So are you stumbling over words? Like, do you forget them? Are you moving along and all of a sudden someone's name escapes you? So there is an emotional component to that, but if you're not in stress and you're just relaxed and those names aren't coming to you, then you need to consider that maybe you're having an issue here. Another place is, are you taking a lot of prescriptions? Prescription medication, I don't mean hormones like insulin or thyroid hormone, but I mean prescription medication like cholesterol reducing, high pressure reducing, high blood pressure reducing medications, pain medications, any one of those things that really don't belong in the body because they're changing the balance of the biochemistry that's going on in the body. As soon as you start doing that, you end up with side effects, and it is actually toxic to the body because it is not nutritive. There is no nutrition in it. So if you're taking a lot of those and you're noticing these symptoms, a lot of that can be reversed by clearing out the toxicity in the body. If you've had a massive brain injury, let's say you were in a car accident or you fell over. I was in a very bad bicycle accident and I hit my forehead right here, smack down on the pavement, and I ended up with 2 big black eyes. I looked like a raccoon with a mask across my face. And that actually closed down my third eye for a long time until I had brain healing done here, and that is exactly what I do for other people. And the third eye also is connected to your intuition and your decision making. It's all involved here in the frontal cortex. So, and then, do you learn as easily as you used to? Can you make decisions as easily as you used to? These are things that will give you a clue as to whether you're having a problem or not. Some people say it's a natural part of aging. I say that your body regenerates. Like if you get a cut, I have a little burn here on my hand. That will heal. If you get a cut or a burn or a scratch or something like that, it heals. So your body is in the process of healing all of the time. And by having those problems and not having a fully functioning live brain, in terms of healthy functioning brain, that this can cause problems, and that is what does cause the decline. So some of my tips for getting your brain health going: let's now stand up straight, put a smile on your face, and take a nice deep breath with your spine straight all the way down into your toes, breathing with your belly button. In other words, push your belly button back and forth. That's one thing, is to get a lot of oxygen deep into your lungs to help your brain get fed that really important oxygen and energy. Make sure you eat regularly and eat nice clean foods. Don't just eat once a day. Your brain thrives on glucose and it needs a certain amount. It needs about 4 to 5, sometimes 600 calories a day alone. So you shouldn't be starving yourself. You should be eating a nice healthy diet. Drink plenty of water. Make sure you get plenty of good fats. Your brain is mostly made out of cholesterol. That means that, there's been a correlation of brain decline with stopping of eating whole eggs. And my dad, who's 86, he eats 4 to 6 whole eggs a day, and he has a very rock bottom cholesterol. That's a complete myth. And no, it's not because he's genetically predisposed. We all have really poor genetics when it comes to allergies and cholesterol and everything. And there's a whole bunch of problems that I could develop if I didn't take good care of myself. So the most important thing, and if you listen to some of Daniel Amen's things that he has going on, he says exactly the same thing with eating healthy, getting enough sleep. I've been going to sleep between 9 and 10 every night. It makes a world of difference. It also seems to hydrate my skin by going to sleep early. I don't know why, but it has made my skin look better. And what's going on the outside is also going on the inside. If you're all wrinkly outside and your skin's really sagging, all your organs are doing the same thing. Likewise, even if you're in your 60s like I am, and things look firm on the outside, then you can be sure that they're looking that way on the inside. Okay, so now what about emotional health? So believe it or not, a lot of emotional health could be derived from poor food choices. So I know that people can experience schizophrenia, they can experience, paranoia, they can experience depression by eating the wrong things for them, whether it's gluten or milk products or nuts or something. So one of the things to do is to go find an integrative medicine doctor or a naturopath who knows how to check for these sensitivities. They're not really allergies, they're sensitivities. And they can determine whether there's something going on in the body that is preventing you from experience full happiness. I know that when I eat gluten and certain other foods, maybe sugars, I get immediately depressed. And I can feel it coming on, and I'm going, wow, I was really great just a minute ago. I must have been contaminated somehow. So that's one thing. The other thing that happens with emotional health is that we wear our emotions. They're out here in our energy field. We wear them. We can even detect them with instruments. A happy person has a nice smooth waveform that's high frequency, and an angry person has a very low frequency waveform that's jagged. So there are some people like me and other empaths that are very intuitive, and you can feel that energy coming at you. And when someone is angry, it feels like I've got itching powder all over my skin. So if you've had that experience, that's because you're experiencing those jagged waveforms coming off of somebody. And we also know that people that are of higher frequency, meaning that are healthier, we know that we've measured these in the laboratory. Not me specifically, but other scientists have measured these in the laboratory to show that a healthy, happy person vibrates at a much higher frequency, like twice as high as somebody who is about to get very ill or has cancer. So we know that that works, and your mental health has a lot to do with it. The happier you are, the more enthusiastic you are about your life, which is why I tell you to smile, because you have a two-way conversation. What you're doing physically, your body will mirror. And by wearing these emotions all around us, they're really simple ways to release them, but by wearing them, you will be susceptible to other people. Other people can push your buttons, trigger you into an episode of either anger or depression or anxiety, fear, something like that, that you can be triggered really easily. And those things can be released. For example, I had one client who came to me with a very unusual autoimmune disease. And what we did was we helped clear it up, but what I did was cleared out an old relationship anger towards her father she had had for 40 years. So she had been sick for 40 years. And when I cleared out that old anger that was sitting in her body and actually repelling people, like no one really knew what a sweet person she was until that anger envelope was gone. And all these people were saying, wow, what happened to her? She feels amazing. And that emotional problem that she had towards her father actually caused her physical health to go so downhill that she had to take antibiotics most of her life, and that she had even gotten cancer and had to go through surviving that. So mental, emotional health is super duper important. And there are actually 8 factors, and there's a link at the top that leads you to the entire post that talks about these 8 factors that are really important for your success in life, for your health and your wealth. This woman that I just mentioned that had her anger released against her father, as soon as I did that, her business, she ran a boutique accounting business, and as soon as I did that, her business jumped by 30% without her doing any new marketing, no new advertising, no new nothing. People were just magnetized to her, and she told me that her phone was ringing off the hook and she'd never seen anything like that. So it also makes a difference in your wealth and, of course, in her relationships. her family was overjoyed that they finally got to see the real her. So if you have any questions, okay, you have that anger envelope. Okay, so there's another thing when you clicked on the post link that's right above this video. That takes you over to this long blog post that goes through the 8 factors that are really important for your health. And in there is a success challenge. It takes you through the success challenge, and in there is a healing audio that is 14 minutes, and it helps you release those. You can also find it by just simply going to my blog page at scientifichealer.com/blog. When it takes you to that blog page, there is on the right side of the blog page is a place where you can click on download, and that helps you release those emotions. This is a 14-minute healing audio, and what it does is it appeals to your subconscious so you can simply release it. You don't have to follow it with your mind like, okay, now I'm setting down a grounding cord. So let's all do that right now. Let's just set down a grounding cord from the base of your spine down to the center of the earth. Straighten up your shoulders, pull them back a little bit, and put a smile on your face, and we're going to connect the liver and the gallbladder down to that grounding cord. And now we're setting that grounding cord on release, and we're just letting go of all the anger, the bitterness, the disappointment, the frustration, the jealousy, all of those things that have anger in them. We're just going to release that. And if you practice this every day, it only takes a few seconds, practice it every day, you'll notice that that anger will start to release off of you. You built it up over a lifetime. It takes a little more than one session. I don't wave my magic wand and go poof, you're well, because you're going to get it all again unless you do it gradually and let your body heal, just like, making something heal like this overnight. It doesn't work that well. We heal this much more gradually, and when it's gradual, it becomes permanent. Okay, if there are any other questions, hi Liza, hi Evelyn, hi Denise. So glad you're all here. Hi, Noel. So have a great week. And let me know if you're listening to this later. Please put your questions in. I'll come back around and answer them. And have a great week. Remember to keep your frequency up. Sit up straight and smile.